Greetings, heroes and Force users of all ages. Welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. I'm Alyssa Simmons, and I'm joined today by my two pals, Dino Nicandros.
Hello.
And Daniel Dawson.
Hello there.
And today we are talking about the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6, From the Desert Comes a Stranger, directed by Dave Filoni, written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and by God, we're Star Wars fans.
Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.
And you can guarantee that that's the truth. I'm a Star Wars fan.
That's a guarantee you can take to the bank.
I can guarantee it. My God.
Wow. Well,
my God.
I mean, last week we said Star Wars is back. We said that was amazing. It couldn't be more amazing. And yet
we've said so many things during this season, and like we're like, oh, you know, it could be this, it could be that, but like, oh, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. And then they
then they keep doing it.
They keep doing it. They keep giving us what we want.
So here's my conundrum.
Oh no. Okay.
Last week I said something along the lines of, if they go to save or to go see Grogu, if Din Djarin goes and sees Grogu and Luke is in it and all of that, it was just going to kind of shrink the galaxy in it just seemed like an unlikely detour.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I predicted that it just wouldn't happen.
And I said it would.
And
but here's the thing.
Well, wait, hang on. It's another case of it, kind of like my experience with Mando season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I said they probably shouldn't do it.
Right.
They did it.
Right. And I literally
like,
said, I was just like, remember what we said? And then, yeah,
But how did you feel?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Thank God you did it.
And thank God
Yes.
you did it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. And truthfully, I like it wasn't nearly as emotional as the first time. I guess because that was just so completely unexpected and
Yeah.
And I maybe the build up to that moment too, because we weren't just seeing our friends Luke and R2 again. It was also this like super emotional goodbye from the two main characters of Mandalorian.
Right.
It was just like such an epic end to the season. So this was a little bit different because it was like it kind of felt like oh, we're getting him again, and we're getting him like a lot. We get him like the whole episode, and we're like, oh my God, they're giving him like all these lines. They're giving him like, oh, we're getting him.
And we're getting to see freaking Master Luke. Like what?
Wowie. So I guess in that regard, I was just like, well, at this point, so I guess if you know, to your point, Dino, that like, maybe it makes it a little less precious. Like, so, because in that regard, maybe that is true, because I didn't feel quite as emotional. I didn't think like, oh, this is such a special moment that this might be the only time that this is going to happen. Like the fact that I got it like so soon makes me feel like, oh, he's coming back. Like he could be back. Who knows how many times
as
now.
much as they want to bring him back, I
Yeah,
suppose.
right. And that's the thing. Like, you know, he is in the arsenal. He is ammo that they have. And
being Luke?
Yeah, Luke is ammo that they have. So, and I mean, use it, you know. If you got it, flaunt it.
Yes. I mean, I'm in full agreement. The show is called The Book of Boba Fett.
A little
So
confusing that we've had 2 full episodes.
And this sounds like I'm complaining.
episodes.
I mean, this sounds like I'm complaining right now, and that's not remotely the case.
No, it's just confusing. That's all.
But you know, I did think back to something. I don't remember if it was Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni who said it. That said the Book of Boba Fett was kind of serving as a Mandalorian season 2.5, And
Yeah, and that checks out.
I did not remember that until I came across that quote a few days ago. And
It's
I was
like Lion
okay,
King 1.5.
all right.
It's the same story, but like, yeah.
Oh no, but
It's not like that.
But Lion King 1.5 is spooky as hell.
No, it's
so
not
don't
like that.
even don't even have it in the same.
So if viewed through that lens, it's like, yeah, this is setting up season 3, but also telling you a few offshoot stories,
Right.
And
and we're also getting the connective tissue for Boba Fett, like how he got to where he got, which is
right.
Like I think that for a lot of fans, especially of Boba Fett, like it was important to see that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm now having Boba withdrawals because
Yeah, right.
Because
I'm
is he?
I'm interested in him.
Yeah, well, yeah, we only have one episode left, and we
I know.
like we talked
It's
about
probably going to be a long one, to be fair, but
no doubt. Is it going to be long? Do we know?
I mean, I don't know, but it has to. I mean, there's
I would
no way.
assume.
there's so much to cover.
Yeah.
And there's been no talks of season 2 of this, correct?
Mm.
I haven't
Not,
heard anything.
Not
or
that I've
anything.
seen.
But it does feel like they're leading up to. It would be weird if they if they were just leading up to a serve as opposed to like a, they're gonna finish a storyline.
I mean, my suspicion is they're not done with Boba, but he's probably going to be folded into Mandalorian or
Oh yeah, for
one
sure.
of the other shows, and maybe because it has felt like they're running out of a bit of real estate.
Yeah.
As far as
with him alone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I'm not sure.
It's so weird because we had all these suspicions of what the show was going to be, and like how it was going to be like The Godfather, but like it hasn't been any of that at all.
Well, and that's why I kind of roll back my comment actually, that there is a ton you can do with him. They just haven't done it.
Yeah, they haven't gone there.
Again, not a giant criticism, but it's like, well, we've seen him survive Tatooine.
Yeah,
and that's
right.
kind of
Right.
They've gone a different direction.
But
yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so just going back to these 2 episodes showing the Mando's episode and then basically Grogu's episode, I guess, and the necessity of that, like, because assumedly in this finale, obviously they're both going to be involved because how they're giving Grogu the choice at the end, like to either choose, the way of the Jedi
saber,
or the way of the
saber
Mandalorian,
or the chainmail. Yeah.
Yes.
Jedi, or Mando.
I feel like nobody is guessing which he's going to choose. Like, right? Like we're all pretty certain that he's going to choose Mando, right? It feels like that's what they're leading towards.
I mean,
and
yeah,
it would be a travesty
but...
to Grogu to not use a lightsaber, because I feel like that's something that like if we're checking off the nerd list, that's definitely something that's on there. Like I want to see Grogu like wee with the lightsaber, but maybe
I don't know. I think that it could go either way.
Oh,
I do. As far as what he's going to choose.
Well, here's the thing. So he is he's not technically a Jedi, but he's been trained to be one.
He's a Padawan.
It's a Padawan. It's a Padawan. Mm-hmm. And he's also kind of technically a foundling, or like, on his way to being a Mandalorian. Yes. He's kind of like technically a little bit like Tar Vizsla, right?
I think that's why they brought Tar Vizsla up in the last episode.
Yeah. That's
in the whole storyline with the dark saber, and
that's where I'm seeing the needle thread. Like, and I feel like because the dark saber, like maybe Grogu is gonna somehow wield the dark saber. Maybe, I don't know.
Or teach Mando.
Yeah.
How to. Yeah.
Totally. Oh,
I mean, I
that
still
would be
suspect,
sweet.
Mando maybe undergoes some training either from Ahsoka or
right.
Not in a traditional Padawan role, but but that's the thing. It's to your point, Alyssa. Is I don't know what he will choose, and honestly,
neither do I.
Really,
I know what I want. I know what I want him to choose. I want him to be a Mandalorian, like that. That's like my heart. My head says
But also
for
to
the-
take the lightsaber. Like, choose
well, you
Mandalorian
want
to take the lightsaber with you.
but also like I was adamant about giving them some separation.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And you could argue a year. I mean, we've waited a long time to kind of see this resolved.
Yeah.
But I don't, and I don't think they've done this yet. But I don't
How
want
much
to
time do we think
cheapen-
has passed since that moment that
I
they
mean,
left each other?
Not a ton.
Right? I
mean,
don't feel like
it's
it's been that long. But maybe
maybe months.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would imagine months.
At least months.
But I do worry about cheapening the end. What you were saying earlier, Daniel, cheapening the end of Mandalorian season 2,
Right?
And they kind of avoided it by him showing up to see Grogu and making the conscious decision, I'm going to leave this gift for him, but I'm not going to
I'm not gonna see
interfere
him.
in his training.
Right.
So, but I don't think when he did that, we had any illusions that we're not going to see Grogu in his arms by the end of this.
Right?
No, I think
Yeah.
I just worry.
I mean,
It's-
they're just
it's
like
too
there's so many
soon.
little things they're setting up. I mean, and his like freaking like spaceship with the little spot that's just the right
Sure,
size for
sure.
Grogu, you know? Like,
Well, and
Yeah.
again, just from a pure marketing standpoint,
right.
it's
We
it's
can
gonna
see
happen.
We can see that toy already with, Mandalorian in the front seat and Grogu in
And
the
I
back
want
seat.
it. And
Yeah,
I want it.
you have it right now.
But I do want them to explore what Luke was talking about. I know we're kind of working back to front here, but
That's
I
okay.
do want them to explore the struggle that Luke puts in front of him. It said, "Look, you live longer,
Right.
a few years in your existence is someone else's lifetime.
Yeah,
So,
he's like an
Mhm.
elf.
so remember that when you're forming attachments."
Right.
And
Yeah.
He's not
It's
wrong.
I want to.
It's an interesting it's an interesting Star Wars trope that I feel that we haven't seen in a while.
Right.
This sort of like really big decision
Yeah.
that a character has to make, and it's not obvious what where that's gonna go.
I think what I'm hoping is going on, because I mean, like, if the sequel trilogy was any indication, that they were trying to move away from the Jedi mentality, like basically saying that the Jedi mentality was wrong, like, or they didn't have the whole picture. It wasn't
Yes.
Mhm.
and like love and attachment, yes, it can cause pain and all those things, but it also could be a force for good, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
can give you something to fight for and things and people to help you on your journey.
right. And really, I mean, if you want to be fucking technical about it, it was Luke's attachment to his father that saved him in the end. It was what made him finally turn back to the light.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, what was interesting about that moment in Return of the Jedi, it was also his love for Leia that almost ruined it for him.
Yep.
Totally.
So and think about where we find Luke next. Fast forward 30 years.
Luke!
In
Luke!
the Last Jedi. He is disillusioned and crushed by the idea of the Jedi dogma. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's in high, so we need to get Luke to that point. So I
Right.
am interested in seeing them explore, how that evolves, and they've laid the foundation quite literally in this episode. We have seen the temple that is later on in flames 30 years from now.
Right.
So, interesting to think
Flammable
about. Like,
stones.
yes.
Being built by little ant droids that we've never seen before.
Androids,
So
those
cute.
were new.
Yeah.
I liked those guys.
Very
And they really
cute.
buried the lead when Din Djarin lands and he's walking through the forest and he sees R2, but then you see the rock levitating. I'm like, oh my God, we're already there. And then it's a droid.
Yeah.
carrying the stones.
That was very.
Yes.
If I was gonna make this isn't a complaint. It's a complaint, but it's only like I'm getting so many things on my nerd list, but not this one.
We've become a live Reddit forum.
Yeah,
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 jeez.
right.
I'm so angry.
Ahsoka being there and like her conversations with Luke, like I feel like I wish, and I feel like that's probably gonna, now that we know that Luke is just like a thing that will definitely be a part of this new universe, and like potentially in other shows, like maybe so if he ends up showing up in the Ahsoka episode, this might completely alleviate what I'm gonna say, but
Well, I think
and that's
what
what
you're
I'm
about to say
assuming.
is what everyone is feeling, but
Yeah, I want that first meeting of the two of them, like that I feel like there's really good drama to be had there, you know, and them talking about Anakin, you know. I don't know. I would love to see that, and I guess if it were to come up, it probably would be in the Ahsoka show, assumedly, because you know, they could have done that in this episode, but I think it would have detracted from what's actually important.
Yeah, I think that it would have been cool, but it would have been too much.
Too much
for
too
this
soon.
we've already
episode.
veered so
So
not
far,
veered,
so
but
far.
we've branched off in such an odd direction that
Yes.
not even odd. I'm
No, it's awesome.
I am
Just
so
not where, not
incredibly
where we thought.
pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I am in the same boat, and I've thought about that conversation between the two of them. But having kind of been surprised by her arrival in this episode, I was okay with, like, I know that conversation happened, and that kind of fills me with something. And
Yeah.
maybe we'll touch on it later, but there's
Sure.
also something to be said for not everything has to be said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having that sort of like old school Star Wars mentality of like giving the audience the room to fill in the blanks.
Right.
there.
Yeah, because I really I
Um,
want to know how Ahsoka got from A to B, because I want to know, because you know, she's got a very gray opinion of the
Yeah.
Jedi, you know, and I would see like potentially like not a great opinion of the Jedi. So you know, getting to the point where she's just like, yeah, this is the safest place that Grogu could be, and like he's in good hands, and
Yeah,
I
I,
think it's-
liked the sort of sprinkling in of the history with, you know, like
with Ahsoka.
when Mando is like, well, why are you here? She's like, I'm
Yeah.
I'm a friend of the family.
I loved that line. So cute.
And watching, you know, having Ahsoka watch Luke train Grogu, and you know, being like, you know, you really
You're just like your
You're
father.
just like your father in so many
Mhm.
ways.
Yep.
And so for me,
Oh,
I
it was about
okay
when he
with,
was doubting him.
Yeah, when he was like, I don't know if his heart's in it.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
just like your father.
Yeah. So I think for me, yes, maybe we will get to see that first meeting
Right. It feels like
somewhere, but I was okay to not have it in this episode.
yeah. I that's kind of my thoughts as well. It just would have been a lot.
And the likelihood of that happening actually grows, and this kind of shuffling into our next point.
Grogu's.
The deep fake work on Luke this time
Holy crap.
was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
If this is like where we're already like within a year, that's nuts. So like it's only
I
going
don't
to
know
continue to get so much better.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have stumbled on these YouTube videos, but there's a YouTube creator named Shamook.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the-
I have
the
heard of
codec.
this. Yeah.
An expert deep faker, and he gained notoriety around this time last year when
for the
he
Mando
redid
episode.
the deep fake
Yeah.
of the Mando season finale for Luke, fixed the eyes, fixed everything, and then he proceeded to do Harrison Ford in Solo, putting Harrison Ford into Solo, and I mean it's really breathtaking.
Yeah, it's
and a lot
spooky.
of people are suspecting that Disney did indeed bring
Hire him.
Shamook
They did.
in to do it because it
Oh,
looks.
they did for sure. It's been confirmed.
I'm
haven't
fairly
seen it
certain it was
confirmed.
confirmed. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I
Wouldn't
think
surprise
I'm
me in
fairly
the
certain.
I
slightest.
hadn't seen it
was.
confirmed. I just saw a lot of people like, "Oh, that has to be it."
Yeah.
if
sure.
if it wasn't, it would be weird, because I know that he was hired. I don't know if he was hired to do this specifically.
Well, it looked fantastic, and I was so blown away by it. I mean, as we know from Mando season 2, we really only had approximately like a minute with Luke.
Right, and he barely said
Minute and a
anything.
half. He barely said anything. This was just like artful.
Yeah,
truly.
it was beautiful.
I was. Yeah.
You can tell that there was some there was definitely some trickery going on. Like, they were clever with the way that they shot it. Like, but I mean, we sometimes
yeah.
got like
He'd speak
full-on...
a lot. He would speak off camera or
or far away,
not facing the camera.
Mhm.
But even still, I mean, he was very exposed,
Yes.
and you
Mhm.
could not have done what they did last year and gotten away with it.
No.
I don't think.
But I was
with
going
all
to say
due respect to their first effort.
that
Yeah, of
you
course.
could even say you could even like tell with the voiceover that they directed him to like speak very deliberate and slowly. I mean, it works for for him being like one
the
with the
scene work.
Force and really
Yeah,
chill.
yeah.
Well,
and everything, but-
his Return of the Jedi, as his character grew, he's a lot more contemplative in Return of the Jedi than we
Totally.
ever
So
saw
it very
Luke
much
before, so,
works.
yes.
Absolutely, but you could. I think it was also purposeful because it definitely makes it much easier to.
Yeah.
And
animate.
I believe if it was the same as it was last time, there was a blending of Mark Hamill's voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
mhm.
Using the AI technology,
Mhm.
the AI learning, which I mean, it really, if this is what it looks like now.
Whoa.
I mean, you
And-
look at this. Chassie brought this up because she watched this episode with me. This, in comparison to what they did for Chris Evans,
Oh.
Steve Rogers, like having like pre super soldier serum,
Yeah.
in Captain America,
Uh-huh.
like she was like, it seems like it's been like
Or Tarkin
know,
and Leia,
30 years since like that technology has been, like, it's just wild.
It is
So,
wild.
Although I don't know, I thought Steve looked good.
Oh,
And that
I
was
thought
he,
I
mean, and
watched
that
it
was,
recently, and he just looks. It looks scary. It looks
It
like
d-
a.
it
com-
It looks a little
looks-
too small, but
Yeah, it's something about his head that feels really, really bad to me.
That doesn't fit on that body.
I don't like that head.
also
At the
like
time was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you
Yes.
that like this sort of,
Technology.
technology is
It's only gonna keep going crazy.
It's only going to keep getting better. So
Yeah, I think
it's-
that like last season was a proof of concept, and now that they
Yes.
are off of the races, like I think that we're gonna see a lot more of this.
well, even seeing Tarkin in Rogue One, that
Yeah.
was a
Mhm, mhm.
proof of concept, which we all knew
True.
what was happening there, but it was like, oh my
but
god,
still
At
was
the time was
thrilling.
very
Still was
astounding.
It's like,
thrilling.
we're
Yeah.
going that direction now. I mean, that really does open up the
Mhm.
toolbox again, which good in some ways, kind of scary in others.
yeah,
Sure.
I mean, there's definitely
Um,
the spooky uncanny valley situation. Even with this version,
Oh yeah, there's
being as good as it
there's
was.
a soul missing.
Yeah, there's
from-
definitely a soul missing.
but I mean, getting
That's a good
so
way
much,
of putting it.
but getting so much, but so much better, and it really
100%.
does. It really boils down to the eyes and the mouth. And
Right.
Uh-huh.
they got the eyes here. The mouth is the next frontier because it is the subtlety of expression in a human mouth
Mhm.
is such that a slight deviation from it can look robotic.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are so many different movements per second, per syllable.
I'm
That-
still, I think I'm
very
still
difficult.
on, even though I find it so incredibly impressive, I really would, and lots of fans are on this train. I would love to see Sebastian Stan
Just do it.
as Luke. I really
Yeah,
would.
same. I would be very fine with it.
Like, we're gonna
Yeah.
know that it's not Mark Hamill, obviously, but like
Right.
he really, like, especially with that hair, like
Yeah.
he looks so much like him.
I think
it'll
if that
be-
was, yeah. I mean,
I don't know
think
if he'll be able to get
I
this
definitely
sort of,
wouldn't
like,
mind it.
energy and voice right and everything, but I don't know.
I mean, I think if that was going to happen, they would have just done that because unfortunately now
You might be too late at this point.
right.
Yeah.
We've now seen Mark Hamill again. And we're like,
I guess so.
Uh,
I don't know.
I
I'd
mean, it doesn't
rather,
take long
I'd
to
rather
train
have
people.
a human.
Yeah. Oh, I yes, I would too. A good
although
acting.
they might
human.
they might
Yeah.
have built a human in another year. I don't know.
Oh.
Like this AI
Ew.
stuff. Like I don't.
I don't
It's
like
just
that. Well,
We cloned a younger Mark Hamill.
while we're still talking about Luke, we got to give a shout out to both Graham Hamilton and Scott Lang,
Yes.
who were Luke's body doubles in this.
Slay.
I thought it was Max Lloyd Jones who had done it in Mandalorian,
Different person now.
but
well, because
it
he's
was
got a
not.
speaking part now.
He's a different part this time.
Yeah.
So
Because
shout out to
moving
those.
on up, moving on up.
Shout out to those two guys. That was so great.
Yes.
Attaboys.
Yeah, they're stunt actors, and it was awesome.
I did get a little emotional, and of course this moment was going to happen. It just hadn't occurred to me when he's regaling Grogu with stories about Yoda, and
And the music. It's always the fucking music
it's whenever
every time.
It's whenever the Yoda theme.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
oh
too
god,
beautiful.
it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It gives me chills every time. And that scene too. He's like,
helping him along.
yes,
his
I
little
loved
force
that.
pull.
Force
Yeah.
jumps.
Also, I
Oh.
mean, great digital puppetry. Also, great like actual puppetry going on
Yep.
with Grogu.
Yes.
That was.
Well, I like. Well, because there were some obvious bits of CGI because of course
you have to.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I imagined that puppet meeting for this episode. I mean, like, you need him to do what?
I beg your pardon.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
You make him do that. I'm not doing that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna give me how much money? Okay, never mind. I'll do
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we can do it.
it. Yeah, it's
We'll
You
fine.
want
figure it
him to
out.
do how many flips? He's on strings.
Oh my god. And so many parallels that they made in
Yes.
this episode, which is so
Yes.
fun. Just like
Yeah.
him running through the forest and flipping over, so cute.
The second that he put him in his backpack,
Yeah, I was like, oh boy.
I was a goner.
Oh boy.
Yeah, a terrific Empire Strikes Back return. What I love too, and we touched on it a little bit, is that Luke is very much finding his way as a master. He's
Yeah,
a
it was
new
cool to see him.
new master, and having Ahsoka there as kind of a sounding board for like, I don't know if I'm doing this right.
'Cause
and
this
I don't
is,
know if I'm
like-
pointing him in the right direction.
This is like potentially even before he mastered, that's not the right word. Taught his sister Leia, right? Or maybe
Around the same. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
I
within
mean,
this.
he
I
made-
mean,
he
within
made
these
it
5
seem
years,
like-
probably.
Yeah, he made it seem like, from that you have to choose between the two lives thing. He sort of made it seem like that Grogu would be his like first official
Right.
Padawan.
student. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is kind of crazy. So yeah, he's literally like his first student. So he's really, really new to the teaching thing.
Well,
And he barely got
interesting-
taught in his films,
But interesting, Luke gives him the choice, which leads me to believe like Leia was pretty soon after Return of the
Mm.
Jedi. She was given the choice, and she chose politics,
Right.
and service,
Yeah.
and so interesting that he knew, or that it was part of Luke's DNA to present a choice, knowing he couldn't do both. So,
Right.
Right.
But she
wowie.
still had it.
Well,
yes, she did.
She
should
fucking flew
we-
through space.
she sure did. And people hated it.
People hated what?
A Mary
People
Poppins,
hated
y'all.
her.
Oh,
flying
yeah,
through
they didn't
space.
like that. They were not fans.
You know what? I have this
liked
weird.
it. I really liked it. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people hated
I have
it,
this
but
weird alternating opinion of it. Like it's like every other one I like it.
sometimes you're like, that's amazing. And then sometimes you're like, what
And
the
I
hell?
think that's my
Huh.
relationship with The Last Jedi. Like I'll sit
Oh,
down to
sure.
watch it and go, "Oh yeah, like this
Love
is
it.
this is pushing Star Wars where it needs to go." And then I'll watch it again and go,
What?
"Why did we go this direction?"
Yeah, it's the when you think of where it could have gone, it makes it really cool. Yeah.
That's for another day and for many previous days.
I
but-
know, we've talked about it so
Correct.
many times.
Let's
Oh,
finish up with Grogu on his flashback.
y-
which
oh,
Luke
I was
helped
thank you
him
for bringing it
have,
up. I was literally
and then
just
we
right out
will
of my
move
mouth.
on because we've got a lot of other things to talk about.
There was
Yes.
other things in the episode? Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Yes, there was.
So, wow,
Oh yeah, so we
that
got
Grogu flashback, that
And-
Order 66 situation.
and just a snippet. We just got a little
Yeah.
bloopity boop. So we
Just
still
a
don't.
snippet. We don't know who those 3 Jedi were.
Yeah, and
And they-
truthfully,
they
we
said-
learned nothing really new. I think from that.
Yeah, we knew he has obviously escaped
Yeah.
the purge.
Yeah.
Ahsoka kind of filled us in on that story. But interesting that this kind of starts to set the precedent of a new force power, one we don't see very often, and something Kylo Ren uses a lot in the sequel trilogy is the mind
Right.
probe, basically,
Yeah.
unlocking somebody's
Memory.
mind.
Yeah.
And now we know where Ben got it from.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew where Ben
Learned
got
it
it
from
from, but
Luke.
now we seeing the master
Let me help you
do it.
remember.
It's like that's pretty.
Yeah,
I see what they're doing here.
I
It's
always
cool.
love when we get to see the Force, either sort of, presented or explained in different ways. That's one
Yeah.
of the reasons I loved Rebels so
Yeah.
much, because I felt like that whole series was like this new. It's not new, but it's just like this sort of like different part of the Force that hadn't
Right.
been.
It feels just more
explored
defined.
before.
More defined.
Yeah, and that's always really cool to
Yeah,
see. So
I
that
love it.
that was definitely added to the list of
And
cool new
visually,
Force things.
visually, it was cool too because it kind of felt like we were looking through like
A keyhole.
or either a keyhole, but I kind of almost saw it like an iris, like it was like like maybe like you were looking literally through
Grogu's eyes.
Luke's eye,
Or Luke's.
you know,
Yeah.
like Luke's
Yeah.
eye was seeing his memory.
Yeah, I was hoping to get any sort of hint on who any 3 of those Jedi were, but no such luck.
Yeah,
Got lost to history.
Aw, poor guys.
And we still don't entirely know who really saved Grogu
Right.
in that moment. So there's lots of theories.
It's Mace Windu. It's
Well, it's Mephisto. We all know.
It's
that.
also Mephisto. Mephisto and Mace,
It's
they got
Mephisto
together.
holding Mace, holding R2D2.
Oh yeah, you're right. It has to be.
But
Yeah.
R2D2 is actually Ultron.
That's
oh
it.
man.
You know,
Yeah.
on this line of thinking, I mean, since Luke is seemingly back in the toy chest
Yep.
as far as being super usable,
Right.
he knew his dad did a lot of terrible things because Obi-Wan told him.
Right.
But piecing it together with his own eyes
Ooh,
is
yeah.
probably a really harrowing experience.
That
And
may be
it
one
kind
of the first time that's ever happened, unless he did it to us.
I imagine he's seen it before. Otherwise, he'd be pretty distraught. But
Yeah.
it's the whole idea of forgive but can't forget.
Right.
And he forgave his father and freed his father, but then having to really dig into what his father's legacy was and
Right.
the bad parts and how frightening experience that must be. And
Mhm.
we get it from Leia's perspective in a couple of the really good books. Bloodline, in particular, is a whole study of how Leia's political career is almost derailed because people figure out she's Vader's daughter.
Oh
And-
shit! Oh, that's
and
interesting.
the social and political ramifications of that. So you
Very
can only
cool.
imagine that weighing on Luke's psyche, and that could be yet
Right.
another element that drives him 30 years from now
Yeah,
to go like,
Big time.
peace out. I'm done. I
Can't do
cannot
it.
become that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
It's in me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
So
is.
that was definitely cool to see it from
Mhm.
that perspective.
Mhm.
And it
Um,
feels like we're like, you know, like typical what do you call it? Just TV show style. We're getting a little chunk now, and we'll probably get more chunks later, is my
For
guess.
sure.
Yeah, assuming Grogu stays with Luke, though.
Well, it could also come from Ahsoka if she knows how to do it. I don't know if
Sure.
he taught her how or something, but
Yeah,
if they did that, I would be like, yeah, I'll buy it, sure.
that is an interesting question about it, whether Grogu,
Ever
if he
pieces it
makes
all
the choice to
together.
be Mandalorian, does he ever finish his training?
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, honestly.
Guess we'll just have to wait and see.
And
I guess
and then,
we'll have to wait. Woo, woo, woo.
and then the offering of Yoda's lightsaber, and
Yes,
it's
this
like,
is
oh,
a
of
thing
course
that's-
Luke has it because it was,
Yeah, there's
it
a
was
lot
probably
of
laying around
lot
in the
of
hut.
cranky as usually happens. A lot of cranky Star Wars fans who get cranky and then are like, "Oh yeah, sorry." So they're like,
God.
"What? How did Luke get his saber? And Yoda didn't even have a saber anymore." It's like, Okay, well, if
Listen.
you're going to be really cranky about it, like do a simple Google and find out that it in the books and the comics, which are part of canon, that Yoda made a second saber.
Suck it.
So
Suck it,
that's
nerds.
that's obviously Yoda's second saber.
And even if you hadn't read any of that or knew any of that, I mean,
Well,
use your brain,
it's just
guys.
normal
It's like
Star Wars crap. Like for gosh
Yoda.
sakes.
Yoda built another lightsaber sometime
It's
in the 19
Yoda.
years after Revenge of the Sith, and probably
Yeah.
had it in his hut. Like it's not. I mean, like I'm not going to lose sleep over that.
No,
Like, it's
of
cool
all of the
detail.
things, yeah. So anyway,
I
of
mean,
course
sure,
Luke
I
would
guess
have
it's
it.
not the original one, so it's not as special. But
These are the same people that were like, "Why are we calling Rey's light? Why is Anakin's lightsaber suddenly Rey's lightsaber?" It's like because she's the one holding
'Cause
it.
she's-
I don't know what to tell you. I don't.
Calm
Like, what,
down.
what do you want? Like the
boy.
giant debate is it Luke's? Does it belong to Luke because he's in the Skywalker? It's like it doesn't matter.
everybody just
It doesn't
calm
matter.
down.
It's gonna be all right.
Calm your tits.
well, should we take a little journey over to Mos Pelgo?
Oh, back to
now?
Tatooine.
Well, hello there, Cobb Vanth. Cobb Salad
Perhaps we
Vanth.
should talk about Cobb Vanth.
Cobb
And
Vanth.
you don't have to put on your bootstraps.
Cobb Vanth. Oh, gross.
Oh wow.
Are we forming the
and-
Magnificent Seven?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps.
I mean, we have Jedi thing going on over here, and then you forget that we've got Western shootout at the OK
Oh,
Corral,
wow.
Magnificent Seven.
I would love to pat you on the back, because you were the one that said that there was going to be an
I thought
moment.
that was going to be the season finale,
mean-
and there will be one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big old one, and it's going to be like the Mexican standoff where
Yeah,
everybody's got
yeah.
guns on each.
Everybody. Yeah. So if you're wondering about this, like a Freetown renaming of Mos Pelgo, that's
Great
from
name. Great name.
It's from a novel called
Chuck-
Aftermath
Chuck
by
Wendig,
Chuck
yep.
Wendig.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, and Cobb Vanth's whole backstory about liberating the town and everything is in that
Yep.
book. So
Mm,
It's one of the
Reading.
interludes that also introduced the idea that Boba Fett's armor was out there. And I remember
Yes.
this was back in 2015. I remember reading it
yes.
summer 2015, and there's a little interlude about the Jawas, Cobb Vanth getting the armor from the Jawas, and some guy was roaming around Tatooine wearing Mandalorian armor. I was like, oh my god!
Oh, so
they
it
are
wasn't like
setting it up.
they were just saying that it was Mandalorian armor. They were like, "This is Boba's armor."
But it was. They
was, like,
knew where
heavily
our
hinted.
imaginations would
Yeah.
take us.
Of course. Yeah.
Like
I wonder whose those are.
also speaking of Chuck Wendig, he put a little sassy tweet out today that he wasn't credited for
Oh
Cobb
no.
Vanth or
Ouch.
Freetown or any of that. which-
Ouch.
No, Disney. Come
But I
on
mean,
now.
how particularly would they credit that? From the
creator-
mention of Freetown, just
you
in like
could say
the
some
credits?
characters or a character created by
Based
Created
on
by-
someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because like they're
TV shows are very bad at that in
yes.
general.
Yeah.
Just so you, I mean, that's unfortunate they didn't credit him, but
I know Marvel's had
yes.
a mixed record with that.
They definitely still
But-
do based off of characters made by George Lucas. That's definitely mentioned.
I
in the
know
credits.
Captain America. They do again, it's hit or miss. Like they talk about Jack Kirby, but
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
he wasn't pleased. But
Well, that's too bad. Well,
That's a
we're
bummer.
crediting you here.
Yes.
Chuck.
Yeah, that's what's
thank
important.
you for your little interlude back in 2015 because I think they're probably going to take a few more of them. Honestly,
Right?
he
And
also
for-
wrote like the Jar Jar clown on Naboo story
Oh
thing.
shit!
So
Really? Wow.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And that I think leads us to just an absolute thrill.
Our blue-faced friend,
Our friend
He might be
Cad
my favorite.
Bane.
He might be my favorite Star Wars
Cad
character.
effing Bane.
And how do you two feel about the way that they animated,
I
did prosthetics. Like, how do you feel?
I saw the hat like
Uh-huh.
in the distance.
From
Like
the-
the
it was,
first
like,
time
it's
they
over.
went to him and I saw that flat brimmed hat and I screamed. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh!"
Yeah. I mean, we knew it was coming, but it was still thrilling. I thought that the prosthetics and CGI combination that they did for him
It's okay. First of all, it's terrifying.
terrifying.
It's
He's
the
I
teeth
could
and
not-
the eyes. The teeth and the eyes.
I could not have imagined a better construction of it. I was having
Yeah.
a hard time picturing it, especially when we've been using Matthew McConaughey as like the model. I was like, okay,
Right.
so if they did that, what
How
would they have
do?
to
Yeah, yeah,
alter
yeah.
to make it
Right.
kind of like Ahsoka's tendrils? They had to
Right.
shorten them a
Yes,
little
yes,
bit. It's like
yes,
what
yes.
modifications are going to
they
have
didn't
to
make
make
no modifications
to make this practical? I was like, that's just
No,
that's just
really,
Cad Bane.
the only sort of difference, if you wanted to be
super
hella
nitpicky.
nitpicky, was that his sort of like chin snout is
A little wider
thinner and longer
in the cartoon.
in the animated
Yes.
version.
Right.
But I mean,
But
that's
I mean, as a whole, I mean, you knew immediately. We all knew immediately.
Yeah.
That was Cad freaking
Before
Bane.
he lifted the brim of his
And
hat, we
he-
all
he-
knew.
the costume looks great. He's slender and
Yes.
just,
Oh,
I
he's
was like, this
so
is
freaking creepy.
The voice is
and
scarier.
and Corey Burton
Corey
did the
Burton is
voice,
back.
which
Yeah.
that didn't occur to me that they were
Me
just going
either.
to dub it,
Yeah.
and
Which is
it,
brilliant.
it was sublime. I
So
can't.
stoked for him to be back in this character. He's such a talented voice actor.
But
Um,
it truly is like he is one of the greats of the cartoons, and
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
if not, yeah,
And-
like I honestly though, Dino, like as far as like the new like villains, like he was definitely up there in my like top 3, if not my favorite. He was so
We had
great.
never seen one like him.
Yeah,
like
he's
No.
just like
he was
so
he was
unique.
he was the first character, maybe save for the originals in some sense, but he's one of the first characters to really take them in the Western
Right.
Yes.
direction.
Yeah, like just unabashedly Western.
Like
yeah.
I mean, the voice, the getup,
The stance,
the
10-gallon
his-
hat, the
his
spurs.
gun.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it might as well be an ivory handled revolver.
Yeah,
sure.
right. right.
Yeah, incredible. And huge shout out to Dorian Kingi, who did his
Body double.
did the live action.
Sick.
And I imagine he's gonna be put to work
Yeah.
in this next episode.
I
but
think you're right.
Yeah.
it didn't occur to me, and maybe it should have, given Cad and Boba's history, but Cad's working for the Pikes.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And I don't know why I imagined like there was going to be an unholy alliance of, maybe he'd be in on the bounty hunter team too. But
What-
Yeah.
I like this a lot more because I think we're going to get some closure.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. So I'm wondering, do we think that Cad Bane has been working for the Pikes all along, or he was hired for this job to like get revenge on the people that the guys that were trying to move the spice, and he like stopped them. He's like,
Yeah, no, I think he was hired. He's probably worked with them before, but being
Sure.
a bounty hunter, this is a specific job to
Yeah, okay, that's
protect
what
our
I'm-
supply lines of spice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
was a direct job that he was a direct
And
response.
if it also meant getting to screw over Boba Fett, like this is like, oh, what a
Oh.
perfect
Oh.
Yeah,
little.
absolutely. I'll take that job.
Well, not just him, but also his new friend,
Fennec.
Fennec Shand.
Yeah, because we got
Yes.
a
Yes.
dope as hell fight scene with Cad Bane and Fennec Shand in the Bad Batch. That was
Yes.
I think for me one of the highlights of Bad Batch.
Same.
To be honest.
That was
Yes.
such a dope episode.
And then when Cad Bane didn't show up again, I was like,
Oh,
damn it.
no.
Yeah, what
damn
the
it.
hell? But
Yeah, but
they were saving it for now. They were saving it for now. Oh my gosh.
and live action Cad Bane is terrifying,
Yep.
is cool looking, is everything that you want him to be.
They could have very
So-
easily screwed it up, and they certainly didn't. You know what it kind of reminded me of a little bit? Is almost it pretty much equally as terrifying. But the from Pan's Labyrinth, the weird like eyeball guy.
The hand monster. Oh, I
Uh-huh.
hate that guy.
Yeah. Like it has that same kind of vibe.
I'm
Do
just so
either-
impressed,
Do either
though.
of you watch Bob's Burgers?
I love Bob. I don't know
occasionally.
every episode though.
Okay. Louise in this year's Halloween episode goes as Peter Pan's labyrinth. So she's dressed as Peter Pan with the scary eye hands.
That is
genius.
wonderful.
So genius.
Oh God.
But honestly, like if they wanted to, I don't know if it saves them time, but they could have honestly gone a motion capture route and done something
Sure.
like that. But I am so blown away, particularly by the folks at ILM and Lucasfilm who create real prosthetics, real characters. You know, Weta Workshop is in that same discussion. Like it makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
It
Yeah.
really does.
and the fact they voiced Corey Burton over it, and that the dubbing was so sophisticated and good. Like I'm not sure there are many practical creations like that I've believed more
Yeah.
than that. I mean, it is frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see him in action, and I hope he has his little ankle rockets. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's gonna
Totally.
be dope.
It's gonna be sick.
Do we think that Cobb Vanth is dead or
No.
just
No.
injured? I mean,
Absolutely.
he's gonna
can't
get.
ki-
They're
they
gonna put him in
can't have
Boba's.
killed him, right?
They're gonna put him in Boba's back to tank.
Yeah. Well, and that's the
Yeah,
thing. If you go
right.
frame by frame, I feel like he got
him in the shoulder.
Yeah, he got him in the shoulder,
Yeah.
and the other guy he like
That other
purposely
guy's
shot
dead.
like 3 or 4 times. You know.
That deputy, and with all due respect to his performance, he did exactly what he was asked to do.
Well,
Be an
yep.
annoying
but he
hothead
needed
deputy.
to die.
He was designed to die.
He was like the
Cad
like
Bane.
from Star Trek. He was like the red shirt. Yeah. He they did we even know his name? Did anybody get his name?
No,
They
deputy.
just called him
It's
deputy.
Yeah,
and
right.
he was in a red shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
He was in a
Exactly.
literal red shirt.
Yeah.
Well, and credit JJ Dashnaw plays Deputy Scott.
Good
His name is
job.
Deputy Scott.
Okay, Deputy Scott
Did his role
Sorry.
very well. It's no disrespect, but you were fodder for Cad Bane to shoot.
Started off right when you were giving sass talk to Mando for where to
Got to park
his
on the
ship.
flats over there.
But a pretty sick way to die. I mean, truly, like
Look,
if you're gonna
one of
die,
my-
you'd be like, I am the first person to be killed by live action Cad Bane.
One of my favorite moments from that whole scene was Cobb Vanth's reaction to him like speaking up during
Yeah,
during the moment, just like the slow head turn
he's
of like,
what are you
freaking
doing
idiot,
here?"
I told you to stay inside. He's like, the marsh is not for sale.
but it just that whole bit just. I
you
mean,
really
it
should
is
have
so
been that part, Alyssa. You would have been great.
Thank you so much.
It would've-
I would
It was
have
so
loved to have been killed by Cad
unabashedly.
Bane.
It was so unabashedly Western. Just
Mhm.
the Cobb Vanth telling them to get in the bar. It's like, just go sit inside for a spell. And I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
just that
yeah, like,
phraseology,
or
and
his
then-
we're gonna err on the side of caution.
we're gonna err on the side of
Yeah, that
caution.
was a
And then the people like peeking out from the windows
Uh-huh.
and in the on the main
it
street.
was just
and,
it was pure
Spaghetti
Star
Western.
Wars Western.
and how
goodness.
far did Cad Bane have to walk to make that dramatic entrance?
Yeah, right?
long walk.
Yeah, if this was like Blazing Saddles or something like
I was
silly
thinking
like that.
Blazing Saddles.
It
Yeah,
would have been
honestly.
like go back to
He
him
says
and
the
he'd only
sheriff
gone
is
two-
near.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been only been like a 20-minute thing where
Yeah, Cobb Vanth would have taken a seat.
like,
Yeah.
Shut up,
waiting for him
Harriet.
to get
That's the best
closer.
way to get him killed.
isn't somebody gonna help that poor man? Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
wow.
a sick entrance. Just beautiful. They were just giving us so many checks on our nerd list. And then we did see Boba for like 2 seconds.
It was the first time he sees Din. It's just a nod.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we're starting to see his army.
Yeah.
That he's sort of gathering. Do we feel
Yeah,
like there's
so we'll do another recap. We did it last week, and not much has changed. So we've got Boba and Fennec. We've got the
Power
mods.
Rangers.
We've got Black Curse Tan.
Uh-huh.
We've got Din now. We've got Cobb,
right?
probably,
Probably Cobb.
and probably his
Probably some more people from his crew.
gunslingers from
Yeah.
Freetown.
A couple of wild cards. We could get Grogu back. We could get. I mean, at this point, we could get Ahsoka
you get Luke or
and
Ahsoka?
Luke. Yeah,
Oh my gosh! Can
like
you imagine?
100%. I mean, at this point,
Okay, but look, I'm saying this with a preface of course I'm going to be wrong,
yeah.
just like I was like going into this week, like that. There's no way that
There's
happens.
no way. And
Sure.
just
But
wait.
I will posit the question: why would Luke get involved in a underworld scrum on Tatooine?
Right. I mean, the Pikes.
And they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. And I'm gonna be like, I'm so glad you're
I'm
here,
so
Luke.
sorry.
You're chopping people in half.
Thanks for your help, Luke. I mean, but that being said, it's the Pikes do pose a potential threat to the Outer Rim for sure. I mean, not a potential, like an actual threat to the Outer
for
Rim.
realsies threat.
Yeah, for realsies threat.
I guess we should talk about that the cantina blew up.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
So I guess everyone in there died.
Oh God, I really hope that my big boobed, my muscly,
I think he's gone.
No, they're all. I think everyone in that
think
room
that
is dead.
yeah, that was a big explosion.
Yikes.
So,
I mean, they did kind of. I mean, granted, I know it's a family show, but like they could have. Because I mean, that's a very dark moment. Like that's like it could have very easily been made into like a really horrific scene. But yeah, they were just like, and we're moving on. But yikes.
yeah.
Do
So
we-
I guess,
And this is kind of the one thing I wish we were seeing a little bit more of, going into not the carnage, but going into a season finale is showing the Pikes actively trying to undermine public trust in Boba as a
right.
protector.
Well, yeah,
I'm glad we
and
got that,
definitely was what that was for.
right.
For sure. Like,
Right. And then Cad with obviously in Freetown is another extension of that. But I would like, I feel like we lost a little time of getting to really feel that happening, and Boba struggling to, Boba struggling to hold it all together. But if it's a long season finale, then I suspect they'll have time.
We have to assume that it won't be though. So because it very well could be just a 45-minute thing, and if that is the case, I am curious how they're going to make us care about the Pike situation. They really haven't shown us like what the Pikes can do yet. You know what I mean? Like we've only like really heard about like what they're planning to do and what they're capable of, but we haven't really seen them like do it. This episode with the explosion, that was probably about the only thing we've seen, minus the train incident with because that was the Pikes too, wasn't it? Yeah, the trains with the killing of all of the. Well, wait, no, they didn't kill the Tusken Raiders.
That speeder.
the speeder train.
The bike, yeah, the speeder bike
speeder
gang
though were the ones who killed the Tuskens.
Right. Who literally wear speeder bike like jackets. So funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we do have to assume it'll be 45 minutes, but there is precedent for. I mean, the first episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian was an hour 15, so like it's
true.
There is precedent for them to give us
an hour
pretty
and a half,
substantial.
I really hope they do, because there is a lot to. I mean, it's probably gonna it's gonna be a big action packed.
Yes,
thing.
For sure.
It's not gonna be like
they're
gonna
drop a couple more surprises, and
probably
I wouldn't be shocked. And I know we're at the 11th hour here, but I would not be shocked if a couple of those Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters that we've talked about,
oh my God,
are called on. Calling in a
Jeez.
favor from Bosk or Dengar or whoever, and that would be
just look
be
where we
so
are.
Sick.
Just look
I
where we are.
love Star Wars so much.
The fact that we can that we can sort of just say, like, just throw the nerdiest shit you could possibly think of at the wall, and it really actually could potentially be true.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
a magical
like
time we
playing
live
with
in.
our action figures again. You're like you
Yeah.
really any scenario is on the table, and
Yes.
none of it's outlandish because we're seeing all of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
and to kind of tie a bow on this, and to go back to like Luke and Grogu and the building of
Tie a boba on it.
the temple. You know, I don't want to say this is going to help fix the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, because that assumes that I had problems with the entire thing, which is not what I mean at all.
Sure.
But as they slowly build in this 30-year time period, I think that's really going to help put all of the sequel trilogy stuff that was a bit disjointed, admittedly on their part, into better context, and it'll feel like a more natural fit, a more natural progression, like how we got to this point, and it wasn't just kind of wham bam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Like,
yes.
So I like that the seeds are being planted about, like, you can kind of see where the First Order is coming from with guys like Gideon. And
Yep.
You can see what Luke's building here and what his mindset is like right now. Still a very reluctant teacher, and or not reluctant at this point, but unsure teacher. And we're gonna have the whole Mandalorian plot line, and it's gonna be good.
What are you the most excited about? Like, for them to sort of embellish on, or, you know,
Mandalore.
Yeah, me too, I think.
Really unpacking the horror there.
Yeah, I think same. And just like where that Darksaber is going to end up, all of that. Yeah. So
and then I kind of do want to see like the First Order start to constitute itself from all of these kind of disparate Imperial remnants, and how Gideon figures into that, and Thrawn.
Yeah, I was going to say, and if Thrawn is,
he's not First Order, but like, what is Thrawn doing, and like, how is he?
Assumedly, Thrawn's going to have, even though he's not part of the First Order, like, he's going to probably like have some, like, he would have had some, like, you know, like he would have helped in some way.
Even more interestingly, what if he just goes back to his people, like the Chiss? Like, what if he's like, he's like, I learned everything I needed from Empire. Now I'm back with my people, or he's involved in a crime syndicate. Either way, though, and another tangent, like, seeing Cad Bane gives me all the faith in the world for
Thrawn,
how they're gonna do Thrawn, and I can't picture it yet. I just know it's going to be sick.
So
hard nipples.
Cool and scary.
And seeing Ezra again, and like, I just like, guys, we've got so much good Star Wars coming.
There's an endless bucket of nerd coming.
It feels so good. So excited for this finale. I'm so excited for the Obi-Wan series and everything on the docket. Like, it's just, wow.
Golden Age.
We think we're getting all the nerdy stuff from this. Just wait for Obi-Wan. Oh my God.
God almighty.
We're not
and then
gonna
Cassian,
be, we're not
like the
be
Cassian show.
No.
Yes, the Cassian show. Very excited about that.
If you loved Rogue One, that's going to be,
it's gonna
which everyone
sick.
everyone here did, and it's going to be so sick.
God.
Oh, wow.
I'm just
all right. Well,
it.
I cannot wait until next Tuesday night at 3 a.m. because you best believe that I'm going to be staying up for that one.
No, Siri, no.
We're going to nap.
What?
She says, I don't know what you...
You're not in this with us.
You're not in the
girl.
podcast.
Sorry, Siri.
Great. Well, any final thoughts before I say bye-bye?
I love Star Wars. How about you? I love Star Wars. Woo, woo, woo.
Yes, same. Great. Well, hope that you also enjoyed this love letter to Star Wars. Oh, he does have something else to say. Go ahead.
do have something else to say.
Okay.
It's just a big old shout out and a hello and I love you, Iceland.
Oh, yeah, Iceland. Thank you. Actually, I looked at our analytics and we have way more listeners in the UK than we do in Iceland, but we are
Doesn't
on
matter.
the top.
Doesn't
We are on the top. We are in the top chart of TV and film podcasts in Iceland.
We're still
I'm
number
just
99.
100%
I don't know where
tickled
we
by
are
that.
now, but thank you if you're listening from Iceland. Thanks for listening a lot and having us be on that list. That like made us so happy.
It
That
made
was
us
so
Like,
really,
nice.
we were
happy.
just legitimately stunned and surprised, and
Someday when we
Yeah.
go on tour, Iceland is our first
yes,
stop.
we're coming to Reykjavik first.
Exactly. Well,
man.
on that note,
On that note, what about
this
this
is this
one?
note. What?
How about this one?
That's a good one.
Thanks.
This is Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. I'm Alyssa Simmons.
And I'm Daniel Dawson.
And I'm Dino Nicandros.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Inside the Tauntaun podcast. Please like and subscribe.